Today I'm going to talk to you about pruning your roses. There are of course different types of roses. So you've got your newly planted roses, which basically flowered last year in the summer, and you will be pruning them for the first time. So this is the type of rose I'm going to show you in a minute. Also, you've got some roses which are well established, and you've got your climbing rose. So there are different types of roses and there are different ways of pruning them, so you have to be aware of that first of all. So today I will be showing you shrub rose, so your normal regular rose, which basically I planted last year and flowered whole summer, and this is the first time we'll be pruning it. I will show you what you need to prune a rose. It's very important. You need a sharp pair of secateurs. It has to be sharp, because if it's not, your tools are not sharp, you can do more damage to your rose than good. So just be aware of that as well. According to gardening experts, the best time for pruning the rose is actually January-February time. So today is the first week of January, and this is considered by experts the best time to prune your rose, and I will tell you why. Most of the people go ahead and prune the roses straight after they finish flowering, so around when the summer finish basically, and around end of the summer, end of August, or even beginning of September. But this is a mistake. According to experts, the best time is January, February, and for a reason, and a good reason. To make it easier for yourself, because obviously end of the summer, beginning of September, your rose will still have lots of leaves, and it's hard to establish what needs going, what needs staying. So if you wait a bit longer, around January time, especially in UK, your rose will be in a state of dormant state, which is called basic dormant state, which basically means your rose is kind of sleeping in active state. So the best time to prune your rose, because it's not growing, it's not getting, it's not flowering, it's not expanding, it's not doing anything. So basically it's in that inactive state which you want, so you can establish what parts are dead and needs cutting out. And that's the whole point. We're pruning your rose to give it a nice structure for next year, to encourage it to flower better, and believe me, it will flower better beautifully after pruning your rose. And of course, pruning is the most important. The pruning is one of the most important, if not the most important thing you can do for your roses, to give it a nice structure, better flowering, and make it more healthy. So it takes around 10 minutes, but it's the most important task you can do for your rose. So let's go to our garden and I will show you how to do it properly. Last very important thing to mention is, if you miss the window to prune your roses, so obviously now you know that January, February is the best time to prune your roses. Pruning your roses is always the same time, doesn't matter of the type of a rose, but obviously you're doing it differently, depends on the rose. So that's important as well. But the most important part is that if you miss your window for pruning your rose, so let's say you're supposed to prune your rose January, February time, and it's March now, still I would suggest going ahead and pruning your rose even in March, when they already gonna be obviously shooting with new shoots and preparing for flowering for spring, opening up. It's still important to go ahead and prune your roses rather than leave them and miss it altogether, just because it's the most, as I said before, it's the most important task and the most important thing you can do for your roses to improve it. So to give that perfect structure, to improve flowering, and to make it more healthy. So do it anyway, even though it's late. Obviously not recommended to do it in March, better to do it in January, it's the best time, but still go ahead and do it, because it's better to do it than not to do it at all. Okay, this is my garden. So we are in my garden now. I do have some different types of roses, of course, in here. So we've got some in here, quite established rose, and we've got some roses at the end there, which we're going to be pruning now, and some of them in here, which already has been pruned. Okay, first I will show you quickly what you need to prune your rose. So we need good pair of gloves, of course, good sharp pair of secateurs and a little stick to measure the height of your roses. So the roses, obviously different height for different type of roses. Today I'm going to show you the roses which basically I planted last year, and I'm going to be pruning them first year. And the stick I have measured already, it has around 14 inches, so we have to be cutting our roses for height of 14 inches, which is about 38 centimeters. This height is different for different type of roses. As I said, 14 inches, 38 centimeters is perfect for a rose which you're pruning first time. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, today we'll be pruning the rose, this rose, which basically flowered last summer, and I'll be pruning it for first time. In here, to compare, we've got exactly same rose. Obviously I have put that one and that one the same time as well last year, so they're exactly the same rose, believe it or not. This one has been pruned, so this is how it looks after pruning, and this is the one which we need to sort out, so I will show you how to do it correctly. Now, first thing we need to do is put a measuring stick around middle of the rose, but we can move it around to measure exactly what height we want our rose to be. So this is the first thing. Okay, now you can see clearly up to what height you need to cut your rose. So we're not going to worry about any buds or anything, any flowers. If there would be any flowers or any fresh buds or flowers coming out, don't worry about them at all. We basically want to cut everything straight. So we're going to be cutting not on the side, nothing else, just straight like this to that height, and we're going to move the stick around. So first thing we're going to do, don't worry about leaves, don't worry about anything, we're basically going to cut off everything the same height. So that's our first step. We are pruning your rose from the base up till around 14 inches. So we usually about 13-14 inches. So if you do a bit of 1 inch, you need to put it in the ground, so make sure you put that in the ground, but then you want 14 inches there. I've got my gloves in here and secateurs, and I will be cutting it now. Just a reminder, make sure you cut it straight like this without doing it on the side or whatever. All you have to do is cut your roses straight. Okay. This is the last time you see the rose like this, because we're gonna, in a second, I'm gonna cut everything out, so all of this will be gone, and I will show you when I'm gonna straight cut it to that height. Okay, first stage completed, as you can see in here. So we've got around that height, it's the same kind of height in here. So that's the first stage, we're getting it to the correct height. Okay, first stage completed. What we need to do now is look for any diseased branches, any brown one, not healthy one. So you can see already, I can recognize that in here, for example, there's one in here. Can you see in here? It's brown, really brown, and it's dead inside. It's dead, you can see straight away. Healthy one, you will see it's green, like this one and this one, let's say. So we've got a lot of healthy one. There won't be lots of unhealthy one, because this is a 1-year-old rose, but you can see straight away this one is unhealthy, and we will need to cut it all the way to a green part. So all the way until you see green part. All of this has to go, because obviously it's not gonna grow any flowers, not gonna grow any healthy from dead, so it's not gonna come back. We need to cut it out. And if you notice any more like this, we want to cut out those brown ones. So there's one in here, one there you can see brown as well. You have to cut it to the green part, and one in here. So we basically, so we're not spreading any disease to your healthy roses. So we're gonna cut them out. Okay, we have cut out all unhealthy brown diseased parts. Now we're looking for a weak branches, so very weak branches which not gonna hold the flowers come summer. So something really weak like this. Obviously it's too weak to hold anything. We can cut it out, it will make the plant stronger. So anything too weak, we can cut it out a bit more and leave really strong ones like this. Your plant will be airy and you'll have much better structure. The next stage is, obviously we're gonna cut out the weak parts of the plant. So let's say those very weak, if you're not gonna hold a flower come summer, not really good. So we're gonna cut it out. It's gonna grow back stronger like those. So this is what we want, strong parts of your rose. It's giving that nice airy structure later on to our rose, and obviously from the good structure you will have blooming flowers. Blooming roses come summer. So we're gonna get rid of this part, and this one we can keep with the main stem, but we'll get rid of the side ones. Okay, now we can remove our measurement stick. The last thing to do is get rid of all the diseases and all spare parts which we cut out of the rose, because even if you cut it out from your rose and leave it around it, you need to dispose that in a green bin. Otherwise this can still pass diseases to your plant, so you have to remove it completely from your garden. Okay, we have finished now pruning our rose. As you can see in here, we've got nice structure in here, nice and airy. We have cut out all the diseased parts. It's nice and healthy, lots of air coming through, lots of sun will be able to come through the plant, so that will encourage new growth and healthy growth, lots of blooming. So don't be alarmed that it looks very bare, because it does look very bare, but it will incredibly bloom in summer, comes spring. So if you want to see it in springtime, subscribe to my channel and I will see you then.